Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Top 10 edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by our Patreon supporters and Manapool. Manapool.com is a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and the team is focused on making it a great experience, whether you're buying a whole commander deck or selling off some extra cards. Use the promo manapool.com/promo/Magic Mics to get 5,000 mana. That's $5 for free while supplies last at manapool.com. I am Evan Irwin. We get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, or at least on all of our top 10s. Power Dragon.
What's up, everybody? Actually, I have something to throw in a Manapool that I just found out last week. Somebody had ordered some cards. I guess one of the vendors didn't have them, and Manapool found them from another vendor, charged them the same price, and still got the order out for them.
Nice.
So I didn't even know that was a thing they could do. So that's actually pretty sweet.
Right.
Very cool.
And it's one of those things where, like, I'm trying not to sort of overgush about it because we had somebody on our Discord, on our Patreon Discord, be like, I know they're a great experience, but, like, you know, part of the whole sponsorship thing is to find things that are A, cool and good and not crappy, like crypto or whatever, you know.
Right.
And B, being able to show them to people who could really use and appreciate them, like Magic players. Like
Yeah,
this,
well, that's what advertising's for.
that's the idea, you know, it really is. That said, Internet's Ruben Bressel.
I'm also here. Hello. Yes.
He's
Hello.
also here hanging out. Now, we begin with our choice of the top comment from our last top 10 segment. We call Honorable Mention, where Ruben will tell us who was the most eloquent, letting us know what card we did not choose as one of our top 10 post-25th anniversary cards. Or, I'm sorry, anniversary sets, wasn't it?
Sets, yes.
Sets, yes, from 2017 onward, Ruben.
We had a lot of comments, but most of the comments were kind of agreeing with us. So we actually had a relatively quiet comment section, at least as it pertains to the choices that we made during the episode. It's always a little bit of a raucous comment section. Please do comment down on the video below. But we did get one from Vinny the Web Surfer, which mostly agrees with us, but does bring up a very interesting thing that we didn't talk about. Very fun trip down memory lane indeed. Glad to see Ikoria and Ixalan getting their flowers, despite not being as universally beloved as Bloomburrow and Neon Dynasty. And yeah, while I'm very much not a Universes Beyond fan, it's hard to get too upset over Lord of the Rings and Final Fantasy. At least they're hard to argue as being not fantasy enough. They feel like how the D&D sets ended up feeling, which was cool. I'm kind of shocked you guys only mentioned Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and not Battle for Baldur's Gate, since that's the one people really get excited about because of the video games and all of that. And so yeah, Battle for Baldur's Gate as a sort of tentpole of connection to IP, particularly after Baldur's Gate 3 came out. I think there was real resurgence in Battle for Baldur's Gate after the video game.
Yeah, and I think that's the point for me, is just like when it launched, there wasn't as much fanfare or whatever, because it just, you know, all the stuff that was supposed to align with it didn't exist.
Yeah.
Whereas with the first one, we kind of just got what we got. It was fun, it was different, it was D&D and Magic, and we all had a good time. And then kind of after the fact, you saw spikes in interest and even in prices of cards of Battle for Baldur's Gate after the game started gaining some traction and everything else. So, you know, I get it. I get where they're coming from. But yeah, that was kind of the reason it didn't make my list.
Yeah, the Baldur's Gate was, you know, it's one of those sets that, like, you know, it's the Paul's Boutique of Magic sets, where, like, it's no one liked it when it came out, no one said much about it, and now it's like this super highly beloved thing. But I also wanted to sort of note, at least in terms of like D&D sets, I really felt like I only had room for one, and I wanted to, you know, highlight the one that kind of started it all and sort of broke that seal and had us be like,
Sure.
wow, we can really have D&D things in Magic, and, like, you know, that blew a lot of minds back then. So I'm happy to highlight on that, but also recognize that Baldur's Gate was dope and it was still a good set. So,
yeah.
And the game is awesome. You could watch us play all 140 something hours we did
Right.
via our Patreon.
It was fun,
if you
though,
like to
man.
hang out. That was super duper fun. Really fun. But yeah, thank you so much to Vinny the Web Surfer for being a part of the show. Stay tuned for our top 10 list and let us know what your choice of honorable mention may be in the comments below. Of course, you can go ahead and hit that like button if you'd like. Let's go ahead and smack. Let's go ahead and hit it. Go ahead and hit it. Now, before we move on to our top 10, let's talk about our co-sponsor, Mana Traders. Oh my goodness, the best tool to enhance your Magic Online experience. Use the code MagicMics_4CI. That's MagicMics_4Charlie Indigo for 10% off your next subscription with Mana Traders. Tell them we sent you. We appreciate them. They're awesome. Let's move on here to our number 10 avatar card. Ruben, what you got?
Well, I figure we'll start things off with a bang. My number 10 is The Walls of Ba Sing Se.
Nice.
Which is a creature in the set
Mhm.
and a major plot point and a major factor in the entirety of the second and the third seasons, really. The Walls of Ba Sing Se are 8 generic mana for a legendary artifact creature wall with Defender. And it has the line of text, other permanents you control have indestructible. And it's a 0/30. Now, we've never seen a 0/30. We've only seen 30 total power on a match, or total power or toughness
right? Yeah.
on a Magic card, maybe like 3 or 4 times. One of the Emrakuls has it. There's Impervious Great Worm, I think is a 16/16. Like, it's very rare.
Yeah, I
It's
think
rare.
Adamantoise is like an 825 or 827, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, but 0/30 is going to be able to stand in front of anything on the ground because it's walls like that. Like, this makes sense. Like, to not have reach,
Oh, yeah.
you can fly over the walls of Ba Sing Se, and you can also drill through the walls of Ba Sing Se. And there are, ways to get around the walls. But doing what it does, nothing does it better than the walls of Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, nothing really drills through the walls, which is why it's a 0/30, as it turns out. Yeah, this is just a cool card. I think this will be a card that people are always trying to find something to do with,
Mhm.
right? Like, it's 30 toughness. It's like, is this going in all my big butt stacks? Do I have a cool way to reanimate this so all my stuff gets indestructible? Like, people are gonna be trying to find something to do with this at bare minimum at the casual tables for a while.
Oh, for a long time. This, I think, highlights, if you note here, the pre-orders, or I guess, the ordering right now, the prices are $20, $16 to $20, depending on which version you want. And that just speaks to whenever there's a really unique card, a really unique ability, weird numbers, like, this is when you see those really high dollar amounts, because nothing does, looks, or acts like this does. And you're like, wow, okay, if I need an 0/30 or I'm going to build a walls deck, it's got to be in there. Like,
Yep.
how could you build a toughness matters deck and not have this in there, right?
Right. I mean, this is going to go straight into every Felithar deck. It's going to go into straight into every Nethroi deck. And it's another of that Avacyn effect. Avacyn being an 8/8 flyer for 8 that has the same line of text. But it's another one of these, and it's on an artifact, so it's easier to cast. You can put it in any color identity that you want to, and with that 0 power, you can reanimate it in some very weird ways with things like Revelark, for example. So there's some fun stuff that can be done with the walls.
I wish it could kind of support itself as its own commander, because it technically can be its own commander.
I mean,
Yeah.
it can be your commander.
Yeah, man, play that Geode Golem on turn 5 and get this
hell
out.
yeah, let's go. That's
It's
awesome.
a legendary creature. Sure.
Sure.
Go for it.
That's the dumb stuff I want to do. All right, let's see here. Power Dragon, what's number 10?
My number 10, 9, and 8 are all higher. So,
Wow.
My God.
yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll go ahead and pop the higher bit over here for you. Wow. All right. So 3 in a row for real.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Start things off.
That might be the first time
All
that's
right.
happened for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, we have been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender every Tuesday for the past month and a half, couple months, something like that.
Something like that.
And we go through 4 episodes in a go, and we'll be here next Tuesday to go through 4 more. And we are fully at this point halfway through the show and then some, and we've gotten to some really fantastic episodes. And I think my favorite moment so far, it's not close, and they made a really fun card about it. And look, man, Sokka is a cool, fun character, okay? He does a lot of stupid, weird things. And one of the things he does, if they're in the desert and they're really thirsty, and he finds himself a cactus. And little did we know, me as a viewer, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, cactuses hold water. Okay, sure. Well, in the Avatar world, you go a little loopy, if you will, a little coated, if you will, and it'll quench you. All right, that's what's it going to do. It's going to quench you. I had to buy the emotes with sound. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah, I just heard about that. Actually,
Oh
there's
my
2
God.
things that you can buy sound emotes on Arena right now. But also,
Really?
Yeah.
if you
cool.
go on the new map and you destroy the cabbage cart,
Oh my god.
And then you check your message, you will have a thing to get the cabbage guy on your little thing. So
Really?
You get like a cabbage pet, I guess, is right?
Yeah.
Is that it?
But you have to like do it in the game.
You have to do it on
yeah,
the,
you have
That's
to
on the
awesome.
you have to destroy his cart first.
Very
And then you
fun.
get
I didn't know how you
Yeah.
got it. I only saw the pet thing, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's
Look,
great.
there's so much flavor all up in this set. It is one of the most flavorful sets I've ever seen. Everything is handled with such incredible love and care, and It'll Quench You is it's just incredible. It's fantastic. It's a super fun name. It's a super fun card. It brings up a really fun moment in the show that is my favorite personally so far. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And it is, of course, an original reference to Quench, which this is effectively a straight up reprint of, except for that it's also a lesson. And lessons are very powerful. I would not be surprised if there's a lesson deck in standard. There's certainly a Lessons Matter deck in the limited environment. And this is, 2 mana counterspell, conditional counterspell. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do lessons, it makes sense you're going to play this. And, there's a chance that when we go back to Strixhaven, lessons are going to matter then too. So we'll probably be seeing this card played at least for the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, Wizards learned a long time ago that Mana Leak is too good. Mana Leak is too much. Mana Leak is a pain in the butt. You're probably it's just going to be straight counterspell most of the time. But just 2 mana is that sweet spot where it's often going to get them, but it's not always going to get them. And late game, it's never going to matter as much as a Mana Leak could, at least back in the day when we get to play it again. And yes, Quench from Ravnic Allegiance becomes It'll Quench You with a lesson on it. I love it. All right. Let's move on here to number 9. Ruben, what's number 9?
I have, I believe, a same as my number 9.
We have a same, both of us.
Oh, well, look at that.
All right. Well, Ruben, tell us about it, and I'll tell him what it does.
So there's a pretty good cycle of lands in this set. Rare monocolored basic lands, not basic lands, but lands that depend upon basic lands that have the line, this land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. Not very difficult to have a basic land in play. You either play this on turn 1 as a tapped land, or you play this on turn 2, usually after any other basic land. And the one that they're all very good. They're very exciting. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of them saw play. But the one that you and I share in common here is Abandoned Air Temple.
Yep. Abandoned Air Temple is the white version, or the white rare land of the cycle. Abandoned Air Temple is a rare land that says this land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. That is a very low bar. Like, seriously. It taps to add a white mana, and for a white and 3 generic mana, so for 4 mana total, tap : put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This is your mana base doing this. This is a mana base that is not hard to fill out. You can just run one of these in any aggro deck you have that has planes in it, and this thing could be absolutely clutch when you're sitting there doing nothing. Into your turn, all my stuff gets a counter, and then during my turn, all of it gets another counter, and then now your army is bigger than they can handle. Like, this card is dope. I love the hell out of this thing.
Yeah, previously, the land we had this on tapped for colorless and required white and green and 2 to be able to do it.
Woof.
Now you just get it on a land that can produce actual colored mana.
Yep.
And it only needs 1 color to activate. Right?
Yeah.
It's
And
just
the land you're
superior.
referencing, Gavany Township, was very powerful.
Yes.
And I would imagine that this would have a similar ability.
Oh yeah, this card's fantastic. If you play any type of deck that cares about +1/+1 counters and is playing white, you are absolutely playing at least 2 of these, I'd imagine.
Right.
Oh,
Or if
yeah.
you're just playing a go wide deck, if you're just playing a deck that plays Elspeth, and making a bunch of tokens, you want to make them bigger, great. It's part of your mana base.
Yeah, I mean, Gavany Township had that one little bonus of not entering the battlefield tap, sort of no matter what.
Sure.
That does matter. However, you can see it's been printed like 5 times and it's still $5+, $4+.
Yep.
So like, there's a reason, and this card is going to see a ton of play and is already in the couple dollars to $10 range, depending on how nice you want your versions.
I can tell you why. There are a lot of commander decks that love putting counters on their cards. So let me tell you.
And they're usually
yeah.
on the white mana, portion, white green,
Yep.
if you will, because they'll have a Gavany Township and this thing. Let's go.
That's exactly it. If you're already able to use Township in your deck, well, we know you can use this one. So now it already has a home it just flies right into.
All right, let's move over to number 8. Now, for my number 8, this card was really interesting to me. This is one of the cards that I actually got to sort of notice and pay attention to because of the preview event. Normally, we did our top 10s for many, many, many years before we do the preview event. So we kind of look at it, we see the preview season, we talk about it, and then we have the top 10, then we go and play the set and so on. When I was playing the set, both in the constructed environment and in limited environment, I was very impressed by this card. I thought it was very, very cool. My number 8, if I can pull it up here, sorry, is a interesting legendary creature that I did not see coming. Let's see, right, okay, here we go. And it is Mia, Scornful Striker. This card is
May.
May, yeah.
May, Scornful Striker, is a black and generic mana for a 2/2 rare legendary human noble ally. Note it has like all the important creature types. It has first strike, and whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. So if they're going to give black sort of more aggro tools these days, this is the type of card that will get you there. If you're in the black-red type of ways, this helps you say, okay, I won't run sort of mono-red, I can run black-red for all these different reasons, and this is the type of card either like just main deck or in the sideboard against something like a spell-heavy deck or a control deck.
Yeah.
This is the type of card that just punishes them until they get rid of it, and then it's so cheap, you can play more of them, you can play your creatures around it and not get hurt by it. You don't care if you're going to lose some life throwing your spells at their face, and I thought this card was really rad.
I'm surprised it didn't hit your radar when it got previewed. I thought this card was very sweet. Like a 2-mana 2/2 first striker with significant upside, hard to turn down, especially with it only being 1 colored pip and the cost. Like, just does so much. And
Yeah, for sure.
if you're being the aggressor against like the control decks or whatever, like this is the card they have to kill, right? Or they're just gonna end up taking 6 or 8 damage from this thing without it even attacking them.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a sweet card all the way around.
What an absolute nightmare this card is. Eidolon of the Great Revel is a card that has seen a lot of play over its history. There is a red enchantment that was always the Storm sideboard card that does something similar to Eidolon of the Great Revel that I'm forgetting the name of off the top of my head. This is very similar.
Spell
to that.
Shock? Was that the card?
Vortex? Something?
Some sort of, it's not Sulphurous Vortex. It was I forget what it was called. It's like a 2-mana red enchantment that does the same thing that Eidolon of the Great Revel does. May does an excellent job of doing all of that. First of all, being a 2-mana 2/2 with only the 1 black pip means that you can splash it in any deck that you could possibly want. So if you have like a green creature-based aggro deck or a red burn deck that you don't care about your life total in, this is going right on top of that. Plus, it's going to punish all those control decks. It's going to punish those control decks even for killing her. And the good news is that you can play as many copies as you want, and she's got first strike, so she can actually tangle with those those earth-bent lands from Ba Sing Se, or they can tangle with the occasional 2/2 that your opponent can pump out. So
Yeah, and
very powerful card here.
if your opponent's playing a non-creature based combo deck too, like this is just the perfect card, right? Like, they can't do anything till they get rid of this.
Yeah, I have played Eidolon of the Great Revel in Timeless, in the actual vintage of Arena. That card is still worth it and still very, very good. And this card doesn't restrict you from mana cost 3 or less spells, which does exclude creatures, which is a thing. But again, it's kind of what you're punishing and the format you're in and how it punishes them. I think that makes this really interesting. All right, Ruben, what's number 8?
My number 8 is a card that I'm just excited to play with. I was very excited to play with it in Limited in the preview event, and I think that it would be a delightful card to play with in Standard if there's a deck for it, and that is Beifong's Bounty Hunters. Beifong's Bounty Hunters is a 4/4 for 2 generic black-green. It is a rare in the set, and it has the following line of text. Whenever a non-land creature you control dies, Earthbend X, where X is that card's power, that creature's power. Wild line of text. Basically, it gives all of your creatures a second life. And more than that, instead of just making a token, or instead of making, bringing it back from the dead, it actually lets you rebuy lands, sort of, in a weird way. There's some very interesting stuff that can be done associated with, sacrificing lands or getting rebuy value. This card goes really good at the top end of an aristocrat style strategy. And so this is just a very exciting card.
Yeah, this was my number 10.
Oh,
and
nice.
Honestly, it's just a sizable body and just giving you that protection of, I had to explain to somebody if you have a 2 power creature, 3 power creature, and this guy, right? You played something on 2, 3, and 4. If your opponent Day of Judgments, you still have a 2/2, a 3/3, and a 4/4, right? Like literally nothing happened. It's just like you get to just keep swinging. Like it's just a damn good card. If anything, the only thing that holds this card back is that there's other quality things at 4 mana if you're playing green or black, which is the tough part. But there are a lot of environments where if it is full of sweepers or whatever, like this could be very good for you. Worst case scenario, they spot kill this and you still have a 4/4 to show for it.
Yeah, this is one of those, this is the type of card in a metagame that makes people use things in exile and make really pay attention to exile or things that reduce power. The card that gives everything wither, what was her,
Sure.
the murderous girl or whatever, murder girl?
Masker Girl.
Master Girl,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so that's the type of thing that people are like, oh, I've got to figure out how to stop this guy because of
Right.
literally what you just said, 2/2/3/3. This guy, you wrath. They have 2/2/3/3/4/4. Like, oh Jesus,
Right. They
What are
still
we
got
supposed to
9
do?
power.
Exactly. That's a serious problem. So now we have to make sure we exile things, we use enchantments to exile things, and somehow deal with this. This is the type of card that probably needs to be played to see how good it is. But, we've been around long enough to be like, you understand the free value. The free value
Oh,
this
dude.
thing is offering
And,
you.
and let me say the combo potential with this card is all over the place.
It's
Like multiple
crazy.
people were trying to chain sacrifice effects, trying to do stuff with lands that'll re-enter and ping you and do stuff. Like
Oh, yeah.
tons of different things you can do with this card.
Yeah. Card is super rad. All right. Let's move on here to number 7, Power Dragon. And what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Boomy Unleashed. Because man, I got rolled by this card a couple of times. And I'm just like, yeah, this card's pretty good, y'all. I don't know. It's a 5 mana, so 3 red green for a 5/4 noble ally with trample, and it earthbends 4. So worst case scenario, you're getting a 5/4 and a 4/4 for 5 mana, which is already dumb. That's a lot. But then if it deals combat damage to a player, you untap all the lands you control. And after that phase, there's an additional combat phase, but only land creatures can attack during that combat phase. So basically, he loads up your lands, you get to attack, and then all your lands untap and attack again. Which you don't really think about it till you see it against you. There's situations where your opponent still plays something that helps that combat. Boomy comes across, and then all those lands that got spent to cast stuff are like, okay, we're locked and loaded. Here comes a 4/4 and a 5/5. Like, whatever, man. Like, it was tough to deal with this card. Like, if you don't deal with it immediately, like, it's hard to win after that. It really is, because it's just so much damage. And they gave Boomy Trample to force you into ugly blocking situations because you don't even want him to connect for 1, or it possibly ends the game.
This card is so close, and I'm serious. 'Cause I played against this card, and I played with this card in one of my seals that I opened for the preview event. Listen, they bury the lead here. It's cool that it earthbends 4. Yeah, whatever. The fact that it untaps all of your lands doesn't matter. He doesn't say
Yeah.
untap your creature lands. He says untap all of your lands. He basically says if you hit your opponent, you get a time walk. Do you understand how good that is? Because that's the lead they buried. I've seen it, man. It's crazy. You play a big spell, you smack with them, they can't block for nothing, and they have to take a damage. All your stuff gets untapped, and now you got a whole other turn's worth of mana to do something stupid, play another threat, kill whatever. Like, it's fantastic, and you get the extra combat phase too on top of that. Like, this card gives and gives. Like, it really does.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I mean, this card's enormous. Not much less if you're going like, I think you can go maybe not infinite, but like pretty close with Ashaya, which turns all your creatures into forests.
Oh, yeah, kind
Like
of.
you can go pretty crazy with Morag, the Minotaur that gives you landfall extra combats.
Oh,
Like there's some
no. Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
stuff that you can do with this card for sure.
This card's nuts. I love this card so much. I'm glad it's on. I'm glad it's on your list. It's not on mine, but I really am glad.
Yeah, I got rolled by it. I had to respect it. Like,
Me
it happened
too.
too many times.
Sure.
It's happening. I was one who got to roll somebody else, and man, it feels amazing. Ruben, what's number 7?
My number 7 is a card that I might build a commander deck for, because he's just so cool. He's so big and so nasty. It's Ozai the Phoenix King.
Oh, yeah.
Ozai the Phoenix King is a 2 generic, 2 black, 2 red for a 7/7 legendary creature, human noble, with trample, firebending 4, and haste. And if you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes red instead. And Ozai has flying and indestructible as long as you have 6 or more unspent mana. Man, what a cool card. Like if you just have a firebender in play already, you're attacking with a 7/7 trample, haste, flying, indestructible creature. That's pretty good.
Woo.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, it's just a big body. Like, and I think it's one of those cards that you're not going to play many of them in a deck, if you're playing it, but even just one can be a big surprise hit.
Yeah.
That is just hard to deal with because of the haste and potentially flying on top of it. Right? It's just a wild card, honestly. It has so many words on it and so many ability words, which is the biggest thing. Like it's a powerful card.
Yeah, I love everything about this. The way that it sort of keeps your fire breathing mana around. You do whatever you want with it. That doesn't sort of constrict you just to the combat step. It takes very little to kind of go up and above whatever your opponent's. Like this is the 6 mana. You just slam it. Like we're just gonna go. And if I got fire breathing anything on anything I've played with the 5 previous plus turns, okay, Ozai is going to be completely nuts instead of just being nuts. So
Yeah.
I think this is great. I love it. This card is really
Ooh,
cool.
you could do
flavorful.
firebending and electro and this guy. like,
Oh,
like
an
that's
Electro,
kinda,
sure.
Okay.
that's kind of wild, right? Like,
Uh,
so you bank some mana, then you get your dude, you get an extra mana. Now they can't even kill your electro because you've got like 8 mana sitting around. Like,
Okay.
I'm
like
digging it. I'm digging it. I'll take it. So yeah, Ozai is rad. Like I know this is obviously a big story character, and they really wanted to make sure that they had something cool and neat and exciting, and this is definitely cool, neat, and exciting.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here to my number 7. So as we've been going through Avatar, the show itself, I found myself most entertained by a single character. This is my favorite character in the show, and there's a whole bunch of versions for her. So I just kind of picked one. This is the rare one. I think all of her versions are really interesting and cool. But for my number 7, I have Toph, the first metal bender. We haven't even gotten to that part in the show.
We haven't even
as I
gotten to
understand
that part of the show
But it
yet.
doesn't matter because Toph is awesome and I love her. I think she's great. I also love the fact that it's like a disabled character, but there's nothing really about her that they don't make that her character, if that makes sense.
Right.
I hate when they do that in stories.
Yeah.
It's like this person in a wheelchair, that's all they can be is about their wheelchair or whatever. So yeah, so Toph is fantastic. The first metal bender is a red, white, and green and generic mana. 4 mana for a 3/3 rare legendary human warrior ally. Non-token artifacts you control are lands in addition to their other types. That doesn't mean they tap for mana. It just
Right.
means your
They just
blood
are
tokens.
lands.
Right,
Yeah.
your blood tokens, your clue tokens could also just be lands now, okay, for things. Why? Like things like at the beginning of your end step, you Earthbend 2. That means target land you control becomes a 0/0 creature with haste. It's still a land. Put 2+1/+1 counters on it. When it dies or is exiled, return it to the battlefield tapped. So there's, again, no downside to that. Apparently, someone wants $1,800 for one of the really rare shiny versions of her for this. Okay.
Sure.
You can put whatever number you want in TCG Player. But whatever. The point is, I think this card is rad. I got to play with this in the seal. That's another reason I picked it because, like, this card is awesome. Don't get me wrong. It is immediately 5 power, 5 ton to swirl on the board. Every turn that goes by, things get scarier, and that's just a definition of a good Magic card.
yeah, this card feels like it could be scary, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that every artifact that sacks for something, you now just get to do it again, right? Like that's kind of
huge.
wild,
That's huge.
right? And one of the things that there was concern about that we even on the Commander format panel with this card, we had to look and go, okay, all these artifacts that let you like take an extra turn, anything that's really powerful, draw X cards, those things. A lot of them are like exile themselves. But it doesn't matter when they're lands and they get exiled with Toph out. So now we're like, is this going to be a problem?
Yes.
like
This is a
yeah.
card that I'm going to build a brawl deck around. I don't care what happens. There's a brawl
Yeah.
deck happening with this card in it.
Sure.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, this card's wild, man. It enables a lot of silly things. Now, how powerful will they be? How hard do you have to work for? I don't know. But man, it's definitely once it's on board, you have to pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here to our number 6. Power Dragon, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Momo, Friendly Flyer.
Yeah.
Because I had to get a Momo on here, and this is by far the best one. It has enabled the flyer decks to come online, and my God, is this card super good. One, it enables some silly things where you can like warp the 4/6 on turn 2 and then blink it. Like so
Yeah,
that's a
that's pretty
silly thing.
crazy. Quantum Riddler.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Riddler, right? So that's some silly stuff you can do. But Momo, for those you don't know, is a 1 mana 1/1 flyer and the first non-lemur creature spell with flying that you cast during each of your turns costs 1 less. And then when you play a flyer, Momo gets +1/+1 until end of turn. But yeah, this does a lot of beatdown option stuff. Like you often attacking for 2 and 3 mana pretty regularly. Like making everything cheaper for the rest of the game, basically super strong. I think what makes this card interesting is it's very unassuming when you look
Mhm.
at it. You're like, oh yeah, these are kind of cool abilities, I guess. And then you see it in action, and you're like, damn, Momo's already hit me for 6.
Yeah.
You know, right? Like seriously,
It don't
like
take
it's
much.
really
And
good.
it's not,
man.
I mean, that's very good. Obviously, getting big is very good, but this is also just Llanowar Elves.
Yeah.
Like, this is also just play a 3-drop on turn 2, play a 4-drop on turn 3 in those
Yep.
decks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this card's incredible. This was very close to my list.
Yeah, I'm glad we picked a Momo, which is awesome, and this is, I agree, clearly the best one. They obviously made the best one. It's rare and so on, but like, yeah, I played with this thing against it and with it in sealed, and it is the truth. It doesn't take a lot of flyers to make this thing go like, oh god, like Momo's hit me A for like 6 damage, and B, there's like 2 more flyers out there. How am I supposed to stop this? Because Momo's making all these things cheaper.
Yeah, and not only that, you're behind on mana, and they have creatures you can't block.
Yeah, they got evasion. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is a card that is fantastic, I think, to build a deck around. And because any 1-drop commander for me is super interesting because you're like, well, turn 1, let's
True.
let's do it.
Turn
you
on
know?
Mox Emerald, turn on,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
I get it.
I'm down. I think that's cool, and Momo's great. So as a character. And again, I think they did that non-lemur thing to stop Lorwyn shenanigans from happening.
Sure.
Changeling shenanigans, not just
Yep.
Lorwyn upcoming, but the old Lorwyn stuff too, I'm sure. All right, cool. Ruben, what's number 6?
My number 6 is a card that I think has a chance to be a player in standard, given if we have, I don't know. This one's close. This one's close for me. But I think that there's a world where it works, and it's Accumulate Wisdom.
Ooh.
Accumulate Wisdom is a generic into blue for an uncommon lesson instant. And it says, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of those cards in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Put each of those cards in your hand instead if there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. I think that there's a world where there's a lesson deck in standard. And if there is, then this card's in it. There's a really good burn spell. There's a really interesting, there's the counter spell that we discussed already. There's a couple of other card advantage pieces. So
Right.
I think that there's a world where this works.
Yeah, I mean,
Bro, let me tell you, I probably had like 15 of these cast against me during the streamer event. Only one didn't draw 3 cards. Like it was always 2 mana, 3 cards. Like
wow, that's an instant too.
it was rough. Let me tell you.
Wow. Yeah, this is clearly a riff on accumulated knowledge in some ways, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it might have to wait until Strixhaven when we get more lessons beyond the ones we already have. And then I think it's absolutely going to go nuts. But yeah, this card might be like a sleeper pick for Strixhaven, but when it hits, I think it's going to hit really, really hard. Very, very cool. All right, so first of all, let me go ahead and put this on the spreadsheet because that's important. All right, so for my number 6, this card is super cool. Part of this is just kind of going through like awesome characters, like you know what I mean, like it's just awesome characters.
Hey,
for the show.
they made the characters good in this
And
set, man.
and they made the card so cool, it's so flavorful, it's so interesting. I'm just like, well, damn. Not only do I get to talk about my favorite characters, they're on really cool cards. So when you see Appa, Steadfast Guardian, this card is rad. This card is 2 white, 2 generic mana for a 3/4 mythic legendary bison ally, because absolutely. It's got flash and flying, and when it enters, airbend any number of other target non-land permanents you control. That means you exile them, and while each one is exiled, its owner may cast it for 2 generic mana rather than its mana cost. And whenever you cast a spell from exile, because this thing needed 1 more payoff, whenever you cast a spell from exile, you make a 1/1 white ally creature token. At the end of their turn, you can literally just flash out all your stuff. They wrath, you play Appa, he takes the brunt. Everybody else gets saved because they airbend away. Like, this thing is super cool and super rad. It may not be the greatest in standard or whatever, but I think it's gonna be a fantastic commander card. It's gonna be a really cool trick. It's gonna be great and limited. There's a reason it's mythic, and I just love this card. It's rad.
Yeah, I think Appa can show up in a lot of different places. I think even playing a one or two of in your creature deck in standard, if you reach a world where like mid range and control are kind of heavy with their sweepers, like this is a fine card to have to just rebuild your board immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I think also in Commander, there's going to be a lot of decks that play one of these just for like, oh, we're going to blow up the board or whatever. Here's 20 damage to all the creatures. It's like,
Yep.
well, you can kill my Appa. Right? Like, why not? Yeah, this card super sweet. Even if you don't have allies, you're worried about that at all. Like the
Sure.
value is still good.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is a card that just gets value in and value out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I love the hell out of that. Can't not love that. All right, let's move here to number 5. Ruben's number 5.
Number 5 is a card that I'm very excited about, and I think that it's a facet of the set that I wasn't necessarily expecting to have happen. And I think that it's interesting that they brought allies back, and I get it. I understand, especially for season 3, makes sense because it's all about gathering all the people that we've met along our journey. It's about bringing all these people together. That's sort of the message of the show. And allies as a creature type in Magic have historically been about getting like-minded people together, specifically on Zendikar, to combat a greater evil. So I see where the flavor makes sense, and it's also nice that what they did was they took the worst episode of the show and they gave us the best ally in the set out of the worst episode of the show with Great Divide Guide. Great Divide Guide is a generic and a green for a 2/3 human scout ally that says each land and ally you control has tap, add 1 mana of any color. What a card. I mean, just a 2 mana 2/3 mana dork with no other text would already be pretty great. But if you go turn 1 Momo or you go turn 1 ally, or you're able to play out like another 2-drop ally, you're able to play some games like a Raphaelos commander deck might, where you're playing 6 drops on turn 3, you're playing 8 drops on turn 4 if you really want to. There's some really cool stuff that you can do with this guy. And he's big. 2 mana 2/3 as a mana dork is not stats we get very often.
Yeah, this card was really good in the allies decks. It combines well with a bunch of other cards. One that's actually on the list we'll talk about in a little bit, but it does a lot of just really fast ramp stuff, and it's on a 2/3 body. Like, hard to turn that down. Like, if you're playing allies, being able to take advantage of stuff like your water bending things, where you're just going to eat up more mana. Maybe you want to spend mana to flip one of your Angs or whatever. Like, this makes all of that possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the only thing kind of holding this thing back is that it's each other ally that you control, but still each land does get the ability. So now you have basically all the multicolor goodness at your fingertips. Enduring Vitality is still a good Magic card because all your creatures can tap for mana. If you're playing only allies, this is a cheaper version of Enduring Vitality. Obviously, they're different, yada yada, but you get my point. Point is, this is very explosive. If you're not really sure, I assure you, this is the type of card that will explode and make you go, what just happened? Because you just played that guy, and the next turn, something horrible happened to my board, and it's thanks to him.
Yeah.
And it came from the worst episode.
It did come from the worst episode.
And I didn't even think that episode was that bad, but
wasn't that
apparently
bad.
people hate it.
I thought that
People hate
episode
it.
was pretty bad, but
I mean,
in
in a world of everything's 8+,
that's true.
Yeah,
the 8s are like, well, okay,
right. It was like a 6 in a world where nothing else is even a 7. So
right.
yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
get it.
All right, let's move on here to Power Dragons number 5. What you got?
Man, okay, I'm gonna be honest about this card. It should probably be higher on my list, but damn if I don't hate this card, and I'm gonna hate this card. But I gotta respect it. And it's Fire Lord Azula.
Sure.
Man, this card just so for 1 blue, red, black, you get a 4/4 human noble with fire bending 2. And then whenever you cast a spell while this card is attacking, you get to copy it. What the ever living just what? Like, dude, the number of times I've seen this thing cast 2 or 3 spells during the combat step,
Oh my god.
and literally just like burn something, shoot this,
It doesn't say only
Gotta-
once per turn.
No,
Oh my
that's what
god.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my
why?
god.
Why? It definitely. This has no rails on it,
Oh my god.
and for some unknown reason, it also produces its own mana. So you have a minimum, realistically, of 6 in your attack step because you had the 4 from when you cast this, plus 2 more. Often that's at least 2 spells.
Man, and the square
And-
stats like too.
If for
Bruh.
some reason you have a flash creature, congrats, you got 2 of them.
Oh my god, it's just as. Oh my god.
It doesn't say non-creature spell.
Oh my
It's just like,
god.
yeah, this card is dumb, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that card's very silly.
This card's incredible. Jesus.
yeah, no rails on this card at all.
I don't know what to say. They put no guardrails on this whatsoever. Not non-creature, not instant or sorcery spells only, not once per turn. Just whatever you want to do. Just whatever.
Yep. Like, that's
I
literally.
love this so much. It is hard
And
to
I think-
explain.
I think why this card got overlooked initially is I think a lot of people in their head just went, "Oh, it's probably just one spell,"
Right.
or "Oh, I only can do it on my turn, or do this thing, or do that." Right? Because we're used to getting cards that just have those guardrail words
Yeah.
on them, and this has none of them.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. I think a lot of people are just like, well, it doesn't affect the board when it hits the blah blah blah, or it doesn't have haste, so you can't immediately go stupid.
It only
It's
has
like,
to attack one time.
One
I
time.
promise.
It's just, and it makes its own mana. It makes half of its mana cost just gives you that mana back. Just, here you go. Here's your rebate. The next turn, do something absolutely stupid. Wow, that's incredible. All right, my number 5. I don't think it's quite as incredible, but it is very fun, very cool. I had the luck of getting it in my sealed, my one sealed that I bought with like the sealed package, like the limited package you buy on Arena. I just got that earlier today. And I got it plenty of times, and got played it against me plenty of times in the preview event, so I know how good this card is now. Let me tell you, Fated Firepower is the truth.
Sure. Yeah.
The card will beat the
Yep.
living garbage out of you. It is absolutely ridiculous how powerful this thing is once you got a few fire breathers out.
Yeah.
Fated Firepower is 3 red and X for a mythic enchantment. There's a reason it's mythic. It has Flash, which, by the way, Fire Lord Azula could make 2 of these. It has Flash, that's enchantment enters with X fire counters on it. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus an amount of damage equal to the number of fire counters on this enchantment instead. Oh my god, I thought it was going to be good. This card is crazy. I just cast this thing a few games ago before we started filming for 9. X equaled 9, and that was in limited. This wasn't difficult. I won that game, obviously.
Yeah,
But still, this card's incredible.
Yeah, this is
Oh, go
this
ahead.
is the firebending card. This is the card that's like firebending is an ability, and this is the payoff for it. Which is absolutely wonderful. It also gives me the opportunity to tell my favorite story from preview season, which is there was a Facebook comment under a picture of this card on Facebook from someone that said, quote, "Firebending is bad if you don't have any combat tricks." And I was just like, first of all, that sounds like waterbender propaganda. Like that sounds like an
You're like,
in-character
"Ooh,
sentence
what?
you said.
Like what?
There's no Warren
Firebending
Buffett
is
saying-
bad if you don't have any combat tricks is something someone in the world of Avatar would say, which means that the ability works. Like it is a resonant, flavorful ability, and it's awesome. This is such a good payoff for the keyword for the set. Getting up to crazy numbers like 9, it also needs other pieces to work, right? Like you still need to have goblin tokens in play or other firebenders in play to be able to make this pay off. I think it's the ideal type of card to put in a mythic.
Yeah, I mean,
That's some sweet art, by the way. Isn't that like Iroh just making the big fire bomb or whatever
That's
on
right.
that thing? Yeah, that's just cool.
Yeah.
This was my number 8, by the way.
oh, nice.
So
Okay.
yeah, not a surprise. By the way, if I could interest you in something, you could attack with Fire Lord Azula.
Yeah.
Play this for 3 and copy it, and Azula's hitting for 10.
Sure.
Just,
By herself.
yeah, just saying. Like
Yeah.
it's just a thing, right? But the thing is, this card does allow some very silly things to happen. I think one of the decks I built with it was ramp landfall deck with the pingers for your lands that are in the battlefield.
Nice. 'Cause
And
this
since you're
is
just
a
like
source.
ramping
Oh,
anyway-
sure.
This is
With
any
Tonic?
source.
Yeah.
So you just go ahead and play it for like 4, and you're like, all right, because I had that,
Sure. That's pretty
O'Hare
good.
Ashenil, you just whatever, and it's like went from my opponent being at 20. I played this on one turn, and then they were dead. Like literally, like just
Yeah,
some of the
yeah,
dumbest
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
this
yeah.
card allows. It's very silly.
Right. In a turn your turn, you play like, a fetch land type land or whatever.
Yep.
And GG.
Yeah.
It's been real.
And the alternate art version of this that has Aang and Zuko on it, we aren't to that part of the story yet, but that is a very, I think, pivotal part of the story that happens in the middle of season 3, end of season 3-ish. We'll get there. We'll get there with the Sun Warriors and all of that.
We will
Yeah, and in
definitely-
general, another thing to point out about Fated Firepower is it is going to just outright steal wins, right? Anytime your opponent has even 4 or 5 mana open, you're gonna have to question all your blocks.
Yeah.
Right. One, like, can I even afford to block? And then if I do, am I gonna lose 2 or 3 blockers in the process to these little like 1/1s and 2/2s or whatever?
Right.
Like, it's gonna make for some awkward situations.
Oh yeah, I mean they got like the last sort of limited round I had that I could use it. I just everything, you know what I mean? Just like swing all out, do whatever you want, bro.
Yep.
Because my Fated Firepower is going to destroy every block you make, and that's exactly what it did. So that was lots of fun. All right, let's move on here to number 4. Ruben, what's number 4?
We've got 4 of these enchantment sagas that turn into the past avatars in the set, and they are all very good and they are all very powerful, but I decided to pick the one that I think I am most likely to play in standard. Can I interest you in Showdown of the Scalds? Can I interest you in mono red card draw, basically? Can I interest you in not only mono red card draw, but then the ability to help you pay for that and then a big payoff after that? Well, then I can hopefully interest you in The Legend of Roku, which is 2 generic and 2 red mana for a saga that lets you watch TV shows on your internet. Wait, hold on. That's a different Roku. Chapter 1 is exile the top 3 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. Play those cards, not cast. Play, so that you can play the lands. Chapter 2 is add 1 mana of any color, which will hopefully help you play those cards that you exiled off the top of your deck. And then Chapter 3 is to exile the saga and return it to the battlefield as Avatar Roku, who's a 4/4 with Firebending 4. And for 8 generic mana, you can make a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying and Firebending 4. So the front side, I'm already sold after Chapter 1. We've already got Harmonize on the front side. Right? We've already got draw 3 cards most of the time. If we flip up 2 lands, oh well. But most of the time, we're able to draw 3 cards, play 1 land, play 2 spells. Cool, good enough. The next turn, we flip this for free and maybe make a dragon already on that next turn. And then we're set up to just pump out dragons for the rest of the game without doing anything else. Like, we've already paid our layaway. We already paid for draw 3. Everything else after that is free. Being able to mana fix, being able to make this free 4/4, being able to make more free 4/4s that have flying. So there is incredible value packed into this card. No one piece of it is going to be game breaking by itself, but the fact that all pieces of it are relevant makes it, I think, very powerful.
Dude, let me tell you, I played this in a big red deck with Clive and some other just like cool, interesting cards you never get to play with.
Sure.
The Final Fantasy Stone that makes like the red cards cost less.
Yep, Fire Crystal.
Yeah, insane. Like, genuinely nuts this card was. Like, just the 3 extra cards, and you're in situations because you also get an additional mana to be able to play multiples of them the next turn. And even on turns where you think your opponent's going to do something to your board, you've got a creature in wait. like, all right, cool. I still got a 4/4 and these other cards that I'm going to be doing silly stuff with. Like, I honestly think all of these different legends could be pretty good. It's just, what does the deck look like that wants to play each one of them? But the red one, yeah, it definitely showed out well for me.
Oh, this card is the truth. I played against it in the preview event, and it beat the loving crap out of me, and it was not even close. This card was scary as hell. Even, like, by the time I could kill it, he'd already made a dragon, and once they're a giant 4/4 dragon in limited, B,
Yeah.
it's fire breathing itself for 4, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
that's nuts, you know. And if you're able to flip this guy over and then play another one, like, okay, let's go, because you got 3 turns of having to deal with this thing, and if you do, I get literally another one. And if you don't, oh well, I drew 3 cards, got extra mana, you know, sure, like. You know, just there's so much value, and yeah, I got whooped good, and I'm curious. I want to play that Clive Ifrit's dominant deck with this card.
Dude, it is so fun. I can send you a list. It was great.
Please do, please do. That sounds like fun. All right, Power Dragon. What's your number 4?
My number 4, I managed to get a land onto the list because it's my turn, and man, Ba Sing Se. Because there's no wars here, so they tell me. But
Not a one.
yeah, Ba Sing Se, man, this card has the same issue with the white one we talked about. You know, you got to have a basic so it enters the battlefield untapped. But this one taps for a green, and you can spend 2 in a green to Earthbend 2. Now, granted, it's only as a sorcery, so it does have somewhat of a downside. But what this card has been able to do in lists I'm putting together is there's so many times right now your creature deck's like, well, I sort of want to play a creature land, but then I have to have this thing that either comes into play tapped or it doesn't produce colored mana or whatever. And you might be playing like mono green where you have stuff that costs 2 green pips or 3 green pips, and like it just messes up your mana base. This thing
Right.
just lets you do what you wanted to do anyway. You're already playing a lot of basics. This is almost always untapped. And then you just start making an army of 2/2s. Or just make one big creature if you want to. And if you happen to be playing Earthbending, everything's just a bonus at that point. Yeah, this thing was fun to play with.
Nice.
Yeah, I've played against this in limited, and it's a beating. It is, quite frankly, because that 2/2 turns into a 4/4, turns into a 6/6. That is real. That's real and scary. And even if you kill the stupid land, you can't, like, yeah, you killed the land. Ba Sing Se's still there. You know,
Right.
there's very little, if hardly any land destruction in the set. Just that one red card, I think, and that's it. So, and you're not main decking that anyway. So yeah, this card is fantastic and limited, which means I'm sure it's pretty dang good and constructed.
There was one other fun effect here is that if you think your opponent's going to have a demolition field, you can Ba Sing Se itself because it doesn't say other lands.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Ba Sing Se, like, that's nuts. Yeah, it literally doesn't say Earthbend another land for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. All right. Well, look, I got to play in the preview event. I got to play some limited today, and this is a card that it's just gonna. I don't see how this doesn't see a ton of play in standard. I don't see how this doesn't be the default mass removal in black at this point. And that card
yeah.
is Day of Black Sun.
Yep.
Day of Black Sun is very straightforward. It's 2 black, X generic mana for a rare sorcery. Each creature with mana value X or less loses all abilities until end of turn. You destroy those creatures. So this is all the creatures, and this includes lands. This includes your earthbending. So be careful. Makes them lose all that cute ability of coming back after they get destroyed.
Yeah.
No. Day of Black Sun takes out everything, all of it. GG. This to me is honestly good enough probably to be a cube card. You know, removing abilities is so huge because nowadays everything's got crazy abilities and crazy activated abilities and so on. It's like, yeah, no, it's gonna die, and Day of Black Sun guarantees it.
Yeah, I have a little bit of beef with this card, but kind of also falls in line with like the drill and some other things. It's like we keep making cards that just take away indestructible, hexproof, whatever, like to the point that we almost shouldn't even have those keywords anymore. Like they just don't like whatever. But
You sure?
I get it. I understand what you're
I
saying.
see what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying, but it's still good
it's
to
on a
have.
lot of cards right now. Not to mention all the stuff that exiles anyway, so that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I think this card actually can end up being a mainstay in standard if the small early aggro decks end up becoming a thing all the time. Like, I think that's really strong to just for 3 mana or 4 mana being able to wipe out everything and potentially even lands, you know, in some matchups. Like that could take the place of stuff like your deadly cover-ups or things like that, you know. Because this does have the flaw of like if your opponent's just ramping up to get to a I don't know, or a Boroid or something. Well, this isn't going to be as good as some of the other things you could be doing. But if they're not doing that type of stuff and everything's 3 or less, then this is just a better version of some of the other sweepers because it turns off the abilities.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they've found, I mean, what we've seen over the past good 10, 15, 20 years is creatures have gotten better and better and better. And there's so many times in the creature aggro decks where they put you in a situation where even if you draw the Wrath, so and so is going to happen. Even if you draw the Wrath against the Spirit deck, Selfless Spirit is there to screw you up. You know, blah, 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 all this other stuff.
Yep.
This is the type of card that you're able to run and be like, no, I don't care what silly, triggers you got going on because none of them's going to happen. And let's just kill everything. Thanks. Like, that's really powerful. I like that card a lot. All right, let's move on, y'all, to number 3. Ruben, what's number 3?
So I need you guys to go on this journey with me, both pun intended and in actuality. There is a world where we have Rally the Ancestors back in Standard. There is a world where we have this sort of, if you don't remember Rally the Ancestors, it was a white, and X for, I think it was a sorcery, it might have been an instant, but it brought back all the creatures from your graveyard of X or less value to the battlefield, but they went away at the end of the turn.
Right.
And so you needed to have this, you had to have like Nantuko Husks and Blood Artist effects to be able to sacrifice everything and go off on a combo. There's a world where we have that again, and it's named Foggy Swamp Visions. Foggy Swamp Visions is a generic and 2 black for a sorcery. It says, as an additional cost to cast this spell, Waterbend X. Exile X target creature cards from graveyards. For each creature card exiled this way, create a token that's a copy of it. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice those tokens. So obviously very different. Obviously we can reanimate anything. We don't need to reanimate small things with this. We can also have a big board presence in play. We don't necessarily need to dump everything into the graveyard, but we're still doing crazy aristocrats things that are possible with Foggy Swamp Visions. So just off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Sephiroth, and there's another one that does the Blood Artist effect from that set that I think costs 3 mana. And then we've got enough sack outlets. We've got Umbral Caller Zealot and Bartolomeo that are free sack outlets that cost 2 mana. Much less actually just reanimating stuff and like giving it haste. So I think that there is a world where we like fill our graveyard, we make some tokens, we waterbend, we make some clues or some treasures to be able to help us waterbend. We get like 5 or 6 creatures back out. We've dealt a little bit of chip damage over the course of the game. We get a sack outlet and 2 Blood Artist effects in play, and then we just ping our opponents to death for 15 with Foggy Swamp Visions. So that's why that card is next on my list.
Oh, see, there's 2 things here. One, you took the long way. I was just watching people kill people with crater hoofs.
I died to Crater Hoof. And
like literally,
fine.
they just like
Crater Hoof's fine.
They were just like self-milling themselves with like
Sure. That also works.
The green enchantments or whatever that mill so many cards and whatever.
Oh,
and
sure.
Yeah, Crater Hoof this and like 2 things, and you just die.
That's all
like,
it takes.
like,
It's just on Burial Rites Hoof. There it is again.
Yep.
Sure.
Now,
fine.
here's the other
also
fun
good.
thing about this though, is you can use it defensively against the other Reanimator decks. Because this says graveyards, not your graveyard.
Takes your opponent stuff.
Yeah, so for 5 mana or so, you can just go, hey, yeah, you were going to reanimate this demon and this other guy, whatever. I'm just going to take those right now, get the effect, and then you just don't have anything in your yard next turn. Like, like how do you like that? So
yeah,
pretty crazy stuff you can do with this card.
Yeah, I literally they just were like Faithless Looting Effect, mill myself, Foggy Swamp for like 3, Crater Hoof, Valgavoth, and something, and it just, and that was it. I just died immediately. So yeah, this card is absolutely real, and it is combo-rific, and yeah, this type of card that makes you want to run.
It's a much better Squirming Emergence.
Oh, okay, sure.
way better. This card is a little scary, honestly, but man, we got a lot of tools to fight scary stuff these days, which is important. All right, Power Dragon, what's number 3?
My number 3 is United Front. Not to be confused with United Battlefront, because that's a different Magic card from a year ago. But yeah, United Front. It is white X, and we get X/1/1 allies, and you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Like, nothing bad to say about this card. It was good every single time I've drawn it. Because like you either grow your board, pump your stuff because you have ETB triggers or whatever, and you put a +1/+1 on everything for some unknown reason. So even the things you're making are 2/2s, but all your other stuff is bigger.
Yeah.
Or you just hold on to it, your opponent sweeps the board, and you're like, all right, well, 6 mana, here's 4 2/2s, go. Right? Like,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. Hell, in a pinch, you can just play it for 1 or 2 just to get the +1/+1 on yourself and keep attacking if you're trying to stay aggressive.
I was
So,
gonna
yeah,
say, yeah.
this just does a lot of work, man. This card's great.
Card's usually good. I mean, it's certainly good at 4 mana, 5 mana plus. It's fine at 3 mana, and there are situations where you're just playing this for white just to pump the
Yeah.
board. Like, so the fact that it is a pre-combat sort of overrun effect, the fact that it can repopulate your board, I mean, there's nothing to dislike about this card.
Yeah, this card is nuts. I swear to you, I did like 5 seals in the preview event. I didn't play them all or whatever on camera, but I did like 5 total. This was in every one of them. I swear, I thought something was wrong. I was like, I got another United Front
In your deck?
in my seal deck. Yes,
It's
it was
so good.
It's
That's
so
pretty good.
crazy. Like I was like, I can't not run white because this card's insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's good early, it's good late, man. This card is a giver. This card is just so much better than the white X make X dudes that I think
Yeah.
we've seen so far, because it also pumps every other creature. It doesn't just pump the ones that you make. It's everything is supposed to.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine having this and limited on like turn 8. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, here's 6 more 2/2s and my team's bigger. Go.
And the only thing you're gonna
Right,
lose to
like,
is
what?
Momo and his friends. That's what you're gonna lose to.
Yeah.
Right, or
But-
Avatar's Wrath or whatever.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Something
Like,
silly,
but you need something for
you
sure.
need some because the card is nuts. Look, man, for my number 3, this is a card that I thought was interesting, kind of neat. And then it beat the ever living crap out of me. And then I went and built a deck around it, and I beat the ever living crap out of other people. And I was like,
Great.
okay, I know this is a preview event, and we're not at the Pro Tour, but this deck it feels like it has a lot of potential, and it's really stupid stuff because the main new addition to anything that's going to be sacrificing things is Obsessive Pursuit.
Yeah.
Obsessive Pursuit is real.
yeah.
This card scares the crap out of me because it beat the hell out of me, and I beat the hell out of other people. It's a black and generic mana for a rare enchantment. When this enchantment enters, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and you create a clue token. It's already making stuff for you. It's making artifacts for you. Artifacts are in the battlefield would sometimes matter. But what really happens is whenever you attack, you put X +1/+1 counters on target attacking creature, where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. If X is 3 or greater, because we needed another upside. If X is 3 or greater, that creature gains lifelink until end of turn. So you're losing life and you're making a clue every single turn. So at worst, you're going to be drawing cards with it and putting a +1/+1 counter on something. But if you have a bunch of them, if you got blood tokens, if you got things you can sacrifice artifacts to, I'm telling you, this card adds up so fast. And when I played 2 of these things, game was over pretty much immediately. This card is crazy good, and don't underestimate how good this card is.
Yeah. I mean, I can already in my head picture decks that want to be sacrificing tokens. I'm specifically thinking of Corvold and Chatterfang
Yeah.
and the new Teysa, the tokens Teysa.
Yeah.
All of which will look at this and be like, yes, please, 2 mana spell that is card advantage and makes 2 permanents and might be lifelink later. I'm on board.
And makes a permanent
Or-
every turn.
Or any of those decks that are just, you need artifacts enter the battlefield to trigger stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like or you get to copy tokens, so you're getting multiple treasure or clues. Right? Like there's a bunch of things that this card enables just randomly. And this is one I don't even think I've seen that many people trying to build around yet. But man, there's a lot of options here. And even in standard, you could play this with weapons manufacturing and all those other decks that are just trying to sacrifice artifacts to do stuff constantly.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of silly stuff you could do with this.
Like, it's not quite at the level, but I will say it does remind me a little bit of Bitter Blossom in that you're paying a life to get a permanent to do something with it that can draw you cards even that Bitter Blossom could not do. Like, it's not making creatures, obviously, but man, making a free permanent that matters, that the permanent you can sacrifice itself with its own ability. Like, there's a lot of things that go right with this card. I
For
love
sure.
it. It's rad. All right, let's move on here to number 2. I believe Ruben and I have the same card. So
I have a higher at number 2.
I have the same as somebody at
You
number
have
2,
the
so it
same.
must be me.
I am.
my
I mean,
goodness.
I love the number 2 card. I am shocked personally. But there is a higher at my number 2.
That's incredible. But all right, so Power Dragon, tell us about the card, and I'll tell them what it does.
Well, it's good old Badger Mole Cub. Not to be confused with Badger Mole, because Badger Mole's a different card in the set. But the Cub apparently is the badass, as it turns out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a 2-mana 2/2 Badger Mole. When it enters, you get to Earthbend 1, and then all of your creatures that tap for mana produce an additional green. Yeah, oh man, this card, like, go ahead before I just like randomly just just praise this card too much.
This is a $55 card.
Really?
$55. Doesn't even
By the way,
matter.
that went
Wild.
up after people started playing with it.
Oh yeah, it's gone up, y'all. You don't like listen. When they make cheap mythics, you have to pay attention. When there's a 1-mana mythic, when there's a 2-mana mythic, okay, alarm bells are going off, because if it's good, it's probably gonna be crazy good. And this card just enables itself, begins immediately. Multiples are awesome. Like, it powers up and fuels up everything you're going to be doing. Like, it's gonna fit in basically every green deck you have that has mana dorks, which is also known as all of them.
Yeah.
So like, awesome. I love it. I think it's great, and it automatically makes a land not only a threat, it makes it add 2 green mana now, or whatever it was, and a green than it used to, and that's fantastic. I don't know what else to say about
Yeah.
this card.
I misread this the first time I read it. The fact that it's every land creature.
Yep.
Whenever you tap a creature,
Hey, creature.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and I saw turns that were like Llanowar Elf on 1, Badger Mole Cub on 2. So you're untapping on turn 3 with access to like 10 mana.
That's great.
Like the most insane stuff. I'm just like, what
Delightful.
are we doing?
What?
And if you play Commander and you play, say, like elves, congratulations. Make all the mana in the world. Do whatever you want to do now. Like there's some silly things that this enables.
Won't this go in like the elves decks in the older formats? Like, it enables itself and every other dork you got. Like, okay.
I mean, it super accelerates all of the earthbending stuff.
Look,
Because
man,
basically starting turn 3 now, everything's just ramping up to where, hell, you could play Boomy on 3 or whatever, right? There's a lot of just situations where 5, 6, 7 mana things just aren't going to matter when this is on the table.
I don't know what is more 2025 Magic than the non-foil is $55 and the foil is $40.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess, man.
Yep, that's about
Players hate foils. They just hate casuals hate foils, and
But I don't like
competitive
foils
people-
in any game. I'd rather have the regular versions, period. That's
I
just
like
me.
the shinies, but I also recognize
Yeah.
as a constructive, competitive player, foils can get you, ousted,
Sure.
get in trouble with the judges, and for a casual player, you can just kind of mess up the look and or feel of your decks. So that's the whole thing. But yeah, that card is amazing, and I love it. But this also means that my number 1 is by default Ruben's number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and move on here to number 1. My number 1 is Wan Shitong Librarian.
Not my number 2.
Oh.
That was my number 9.
Oh, well.
And I left it off my list because I knew someone would talk about it, and I'd already talked about it on the regular show.
Yeah.
But yes,
Totally fair, totally
it
fair.
100% deserves to be here.
This card is fantastic. Washington is a 2 blue and X generic mana mythic legendary bird spirit with flash, flying, and vigilance. It did not need vigilance, by the way. That was just so weirdly tacked on, but whatever. When it enters the battlefield, you put X +1/+1 counters on him, then you draw half X cards rounded down. Whenever an opponent searches their library, put a +1/+1 counter on Wan Shitong and draw a card. Yes, the sweet version is $68 right now.
Yeah.
This card can easily slip into older formats. It's blue because Force of Negation and Force of Will care about that stuff. This card is very, very, very powerful in terms of what it does and in reaction to stuff. Multiple versions are no problem because you're almost like, revving up to bigger washing tongs or whatever. The character itself is one of my favorite of the show that I've seen so far. Even if he's not, at least, I don't know how many more episodes he may show up in, but the ones he does is really cool. I absolutely love the interactions that they had with him, and super cool character, super cool card that does something really powerful. I mean, you just got a knockout. That's my number 1 card.
Incredible card.
One of those, that special version is one of the most beautifully artsy cards they have made in a while. Like, it just looks so good.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. This card is just silly. I mean, it's everything a blue player wants, right? You don't have to commit mana because it has flash.
Right?
It obviously has flying. It has vigilance, so you can attack and block. Why? Hell if I know.
That's so messed
And
up.
yeah, and then you get extra cards on top of all that, right?
Yeah.
Like it,
Yes.
like whatever. And then if you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna demolition field you just because I don't like that, and I'm gonna get a counter and a card just because you went and got a basic land. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell,
I
man?
mean,
Like,
most of the time we're just playing this for blue blue. Like the X in the cost is kind of not needed most of the
Well,
time.
needed, quote
But
unquote.
in a
yeah,
pinch,
yeah, yeah,
in a pinch, end of turn, we can Sphinx's Revelation. We can
yeah.
spend 8 mana, draw 3 cards, get a 4/4, untap with our 4/4 flying vigilance lifelinker. We can also flash this in to be able to fierce guardianship out of nowhere. There's a lot of really cool stuff that the flash part of this enables. In addition to, in response to your fetch land, in response to your whatever.
Yeah, this card it's so good. It's fantastic. I love that they did take one of the coolest characters in the show and made such a great card out of him. And
Yeah.
yeah, just
It's a
beautiful.
crazy commander to have too. Like
For
it really
sure.
is. That card's just good.
There you
Changes
go.
the whole game for sure.
Ruben, what's number one?
My number one is a card that I have been on since it was previewed, and it was previewed like it was among the first 5 cards previewed. It's been out since Comic-Con, I think. It's been around forever, and it has never waned as my favorite card in the set, and it is Redirect Lightning.
Ooh.
Redirect Lightning is the truth and the way, and it's bananas. You're never going to find a better rate for this effect. 1 red mana instant lesson. It's a rare. As an additional cost to cast the spell, either pay 2 or pay 5 life. So in Commander, we're paying 5 life. And we get to change the target of a spell or ability with a single target. When you're in a non-blue red deck, changing targets, bolt bending things, is the most important thing that we can be doing. This is by far the cheapest that we've gotten, unless we have our commander in play. 5 life and 1 red mana to change the target on a Doomblade. 5 life and 1 red mana to change the target on a lightning bolt that's going to kill our commander, and we get to kill somebody else's thing. Take target player takes an extra turn. Target player draws 2 cards. Target player this, target player that. There's so many things that this is going to be able to do, and it does it for a spell or an ability. I mean, sign me up.
Dude, even in standard, I'm gonna like get lost your creature,
Right?
or I'm gonna whatever black removal of choice, right?
Sure.
Shoot the sheriff or whatever. You're like, nah, I'd rather you not. Like, I'll take the 5 damage. That seems fine. Go ahead and kill your own guy so I can attack through freely next turn, right? Like, yeah, this definitely can find a home somewhere.
This is also one of those great cards that they don't have to have creatures to make this important. You've got your awesome creature plus some little dork or a token or whatever, and you're like, the Doomblade that, and like, no, 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 I'll pay 5 life and keep my awesome creature here. And you all done? Is that it?
Yep.
You finished, because
Yeah.
that's how it's going to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Deflecting SWAT is up to like $80. That's the cheapest that we can get from a cost standpoint, is have our commander in play and then cast Deflecting SWAT for free.
Jeez.
There's nothing better
Yeah.
after that than this brand new card in this set.
Deflecting SWAT is minimum $50. Minimum.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. So, Power Dragon, what is your number one and Ruben's number two?
Man, my number one is a card that I don't even know why it has the words that it has, but Aang Swift Savior. It's 1 white blue for a 2/3 human avatar ally with flash, with flying, and then when it enters, airbend up to one other target creature or why the hell or spell.
Or
I
spell.
don't know, like what? And
Or
then
spell is crazy.
it does have a backside that you could pay
Sure.
8 and turn it into a big 5/5 that gives you some fantastic reach, trample, and then you get +1/+1s for each tap creature and all that fun stuff. But it's mostly about the front side. Nobody gives a damn about the backside unless you're doing fun tricks with like the cauldron or something. But man, being able to use this as a 1 turn spell counter to buy yourself a turn, to save a creature, to make your opponent's combat blocks terrible. Like there's so many things. Like I literally even had turns where like my opponent's attacking and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and save this guy or remove that, and then I'm just gonna block the other one because I have a 2/3 that you didn't even know I had. Like
Right.
there's so many things you can do with this card.
Yeah.
It's silly.
This thing's absurd. Like you ever play Spell Queller? Boy,
Yeah,
howdy.
exactly.
Spell
Yeah.
Queller was a beating every time it came into play. This card is that with more text. There's more text on Aang. Because you can play it proactively. You could get rid of a
Yep.
blocker with Aang. You're not only exiling spells, which by the way, you can get rid of uncounterable spells. You can do weird stuff with like Magistrate, the Draenith Magistrate, or Aven guy that makes things cost more when you cast them from exile. You don't even need that. This is just a tempo play. You're playing this in response to their turn 4 Wrath, and getting another flyer with your Momos and the rest of your flyers that are in play, attacking for another 10, playing another Aang, airbending their Wrath again. Like, this thing's absurd. And also on the backside, if you need it, you can get a 5/5 that rewards you for waterbending your creatures because it puts a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature that you control. So this card is absurd. Like, it was good even if it couldn't target a spell. It was good even if it didn't have a backside. 2/3
Yeah.
flash flying, airbend a target creature, I would have already been on board with. But it's so much more than just that.
And the crazy thing is, it's positioned to fit into the ally decks, into the flyer
Yeah.
decks, into just like any Azorius aggro anything, right? Like this card just does so much. It just keeps giving. Such a crazy, crazy card.
Like being able to see the episode that this sort of came from, that this card and the effect came from, which is super awesome. The flavor here is just incredible. The flavor, I love the fact that I think the flavor completely overrode the color pie on the back end. Like there's white and blue do not get reach and trample like this. It's
Right.
just kind
Why
of
would
weird.
this? Yeah.
White can put counters on stuff, blue not really so much. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
but you have to work for it, and that makes it okay, I think.
Right, well, you got to give 8 mana or enough creatures or whatever. So I get that, but also just know it's just a giant flavor win, which is the whole set, honestly. And hell, that's a great way to top off as number 1 there. I do not disagree. All right, that was our top 10 Avatar cards. You will see them right now on your screen for review. Take a look at my list, Power Dragon's list, Ruben's top 10, and we want to hear from you about what card we didn't talk about, and we'll select our favorite to highlight in our next top 10. But before we go, I want to thank my 2 co-hosts. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you. This was fun. I'm excited that you guys have delved into the world of Avatar with me as part of this set, and I'm excited to watch the back half of the show. And if you want to join us,
Next Tuesday.
watch the back half of the show, please join us on Tuesdays. Yeah.
Right here on this channel that you're watching, wherever you happen to be. Power Dragon, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, if you want to buy any of these cards, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Manipool, because honestly, they are legitly giving you $5. Like,
Right.
literally just go sign up. Manipool.com/promo/magicmics. It takes for real like 2 minutes and you just have $5 in your account.
Yeah.
Like it's literally that simple.
Right.
It's 5,000 mana, which equals out to 1 mana per penny, and they just discontinued the penny. So we'll need mana.
We'll need mana to fill the
There you go.
gaps,
There you go.
Which is fine. No, I really, it really is wild. This is one of those promos, like, it's not going to last. It's going to be something that you get to talk about and be like, I remember when that set or when that site came out and I got free money to go use it. You can do that now. Go do that.
That
It
and
might be 10 mana to a penny. I'm not
and
doing
if you hear
math
us
correctly.
talking about mana on the site, it's because every time you buy something, they give you so many mana points rebate that also just becomes free money in your account. So like, go use the site. It's free money, y'all. I don't know how else to tell you. Like, go buy Magic cards and get paid.
It's my favorite free money to get right now.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Look, we're moving to our final slide here. I want to thank our primary sponsor, Manapool.com. Go to manapool.com/promo/magicmics for your free money. Co-sponsor, ManaTraders.com. My co-host, Power Dragon and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching and listening, and hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online at twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Blue Sky at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook, or join us here next week. Same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.